Hey everyone, welcome to tonight's recap of Dancing with the Stars.
Well, it was a very special night tonight.
Why are you talking like that?
It was dynamic duos.
Yeah, there were 2 rounds tonight. The first round was dynamic duos, and then
The second round was a loser dance-off because the highest scoring couple of the evening gained immunity.
yes, and then everybody else squared off and fought for 3 extra points.
All right.
So let's talk about the dynamic duos round.
Leah and Artem up first. They were Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah, so they asked for help from an acting coach to get into character.
I think they wasted their money. They had a jazz.
Freeze! Give me the money.
Give me the money. I'm Russian or something.
All right, so they had a jazz dance this week, and
It was very low energy.
I have to agree with the judges. It was just like weak.
They were just going through the motions. It seemed like they really didn't have, it was no chemistry, no pizzazz.
Yeah, I have to agree also. I think it was Carrie Ann who said that Leah's movements are too balletic,
Yeah,
you know?
Yes.
She wasn't hitting things.
exactly. So that showed up in the scores, the 32 for them.
Yeah.
Ooh.
They were like, yay! But you know, on the inside, they were like,
Artem was like, yes, we're very happy.
all right. Next up, Michael and Emma, or Tarzan and Jane.
With trousers?
Yeah, they showed us a little bit of the costuming consultation, and they were like, yes, it's Tarzan and Jane, but it's also Michael and Emma, and it's also a foxtrot, so he can't be running around in a loincloth for a
But his
foxtrot.
loincloth belt didn't even cover his loin.
Well, they showed us some of their practice sessions as well, and it looks like Emma has spent a lot of time crying this
I
week.
think she spent most of the season crying.
Michael was just like, I know.
Don't worry, there'll be more time for tears.
Oh.
The whole routine was just walking around.
It wasn't good.
Walking, a stomp or two, more walking.
Yeah.
25.
The judges were like, this is one of your best dances yet.
Really?
Yeah, they got a 25.
Alright, so they had a little video package. Derek likes to check himself out in the mirror, we learned.
We got a little
Duh.
bit of a newlywed game thing going
Right.
on here.
Alfonso loves to listen to his own voice.
Okay.
Who wouldn't? And the jury's out on who takes the most selfies, Mark or Sadie.
I don't know. I follow Mark on Twitter, and I gotta say, he posts a lot of selfies. But then again, I don't follow Sadie, so
Right.
I don't know what the comparison is like there.
Alright, fair enough. Well, Janelle and Val were up next. Where do I begin? It's Romeo and Juliet.
Sources say they're hooking up, but it's casual.
Oh, isn't everything?
There are a lot of articles out this week about them.
So they danced to contemporary.
Right.
You know what that means. Just do whatever you want. So I thought it was really choppy.
I thought there were some really beautiful parts of this dance.
Yeah.
But I have to agree, sometimes it was like, oh, lift. Run over here for another lift.
Pose first, then lift.
But there were some really gorgeous parts.
It was definitely emotional. You know, they conveyed the emotion of
yeah,
the piece.
you could tell they were into it emotionally.
But the choreography, I thought, was just like run, pose, lift, look emotional, then
well,
run
the
again.
judges disagreed.
They sure did.
Carrie Ann was like, this is dance. This is the whole
This is the
point of
quintessential
dance.
dance. You were amazing. And I can't believe that Julianne was like, I could say a lot of things right now. And I was thinking, oh boy, go ahead. And she's like, only one word comes to mind. Breathtaking.
So they got a 40. And at
Really?
that point, I was like, all right, no one else is getting a perfect score because they are not going to have a tie
Exactly.
on that leaderboard when one person or one couple is immune.
Exactly.
No.
All right, so Tommy and Peter were up next. Oh boy. They were June, Carter Cash, and Johnny Cash. Doing a paso doble to Ring of Fire.
Okay.
What could you possibly say about this dance?
It was not good.
Or easy to watch?
It was quite difficult.
He's a hot dog.
What was
Because you're not sure of the content, but like, you're a hot dog?
Okay. Yeah, he was offbeat. He didn't know what he was doing. Peter was like, slow, quick.
Peter was probably like, I give up.
I don't know.
He was limpy.
Yeah, he hurt his calf. He re-injured it during the dance.
He wants more painkillers.
And then Erin Andrews was like, yeah, what do you got? What?
Well, my favorite ones are
Okay, so they
cut away.
They got a 26 for their Paso Doble.
Really?
What'd you think?
I thought that was a little high. A lot high.
Well, what are you gonna do?
I don't know. Sadie and Mark were up next. And of course, she's all biblical, so it's Adam and Eve.
All right, they were also doing a contemporary dance, and she was all like, I gotta be modest about this. Do you have to touch my butt with that lift?
Yes, it's for safety.
It's gonna be okay.
All right. So it was a really great dance.
I love this one.
All of the judges kissed Mark's ass because
Mark was all
threw a
complaining
hissy fit last week.
In his package for this week about how Len hates art and anything creative. And then they got to Len for his commentary and he was like, Mark, does this mean we're not going clubbing tonight?
Yeah.
I thought Len handled that well.
I don't know. Everybody had the same talking points, though. I think they compared notes before the show started because they knew what was coming, and they were like, "Oh, so mature. You've grown so much." And Mark, that was so creative and so amazing. You're just the best.
What a treat too. The live music was performed by Mark's girlfriend,
BC Jean. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
So they got a 38. I really thought it was rivaled Janelle and Val's performance.
Well, we
but
can only have 140 this week.
I know. And they went before them, so what are you going to do?
All right, next up, Alfonso and Whitney portraying...
Alfonso and Whitney!
Batman and Robin for a cha-cha.
I love that dynamic duo.
Yeah.
That was cool. He
So they had
zip-lined in.
Really interesting open to this. Like you said, he's zip-lined in, and they tried this out in rehearsal, and it didn't go so well.
The thing came off the track.
He got
and
stuck.
He was stuck.
And he was just like...
Stucky?
Yeah. And they were like, are you okay? Holding up his friggin' feet.
We're getting a ladder. It's okay. And the ladder was about that much too short. Really?
Well, thankfully, it worked out during this performance.
I would have been like, I'm letting go. You better catch me or I'm suing.
Now, okay. This was not... I'm going to start by saying this was a solid performance.
Mm-hmm.
But it was not my favorite from Alfonso and Whitney. And I'm going to have to pull a Len moment right now, which he didn't pull tonight.
I'm really surprised.
But I'm pulling it for him.
There was too much messing about.
There was a lot of...
Non-cha-cha.
Non-cha-cha content, which is like...
Yeah.
I just felt like I wanted to see more cha-cha from them.
I thought it really went with the number, though.
He can handle it.
Yeah.
He can handle it. So they ended up still with 2 10s, and they got a 38. All right.
If they're probably like, why do we bother doing a really nice ballroom dance or a Latin dance when everybody else is getting away with putting in crap?
Well, I didn't think it was
I want to
crap.
have
It was
fun.
just like,
No, you know what I mean.
yeah. Okay.
Bethany and Derek up next with their Ricky and Lucy salsa.
Ugh. Okay, first of all, why is she like, my mom forced me to watch I Love Lucy?
That should not be forced. That you should want to watch that.
Come on now.
Tune into the Hallmark Channel and watch it. Just stop.
Right, so they danced to salsa.
But first she dreamed it
yes.
in the video package. The set was pretty cool, but you know what? They spent an awful lot of time behind that counter. It wasn't fluid. You didn't really like
I
it.
didn't really like this at all. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a Ricky and Lucy snob. I don't know.
There was a whole lot of butt shaking.
There was a lot of shimmies with her making the face.
Yeah.
It was
I gotta give her credit for having...
for going there.
Yes.
And like really, yeah, definitely.
For having the confidence.
I didn't like the choreography.
I didn't like the choreography either.
I just felt like it wasn't fluid. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
But
my opinion.
The judges loved it. They kissed their butt. They kissed their shimmying butts. So they got a 37. Not as good as Sadie and Mark, but they
They're up
kissed
there.
their butt.
All right, so let's talk about the second round. Like we said earlier, Janelle and Val had immunity. Did we not? Maybe we didn't say that.
No, they are free to go make out.
Okay.
All right. So it's dance-off time. The winner of each matchup gets 3 points. Pretty simple.
Okay, so Alfonso and Whitney were second on the leaderboard, so they got to pick first, and they chose to face off against Leah and Artem.
And Artem is a real stickler about fairness.
Yeah, did you guys notice in the video package, Leah was like, let's go after Tommy and PETA, and Artem was like,
No.
hell no!
No, we don't do that.
The audience will not vote for us.
That was great. I love Artem.
Right, so, because...
Leah and Artem picked a jive.
Yeah, they got to pick the dance style, so they picked a jive. And...
They got smoked.
Yeah.
By Alfonso and Whitney. I mean, it wasn't even close. The judges were 4-0, and I
on
believe
Twitter,
it was like...
It was a blowout.
Yeah.
It's like 85% Alfonso and Whitney or
So
something.
they got the 3 extra points. Now, the next matchup was Sadie and Mark, and they chose Bethany and Derek.
Of course.
Because they're rivals. Hello, teen rivals.
Right, so Bethany and Derek picked Cha-Cha, and oh my god.
They equally were not great.
The judges were like, oh, this is really tough.
Because you both suck.
They were basically saying these both were not good, so...
You're short and tight, and you're tall and lanky.
They both had some major technique issues, and a lot of mess-ups, too.
It was a tie. And on Twitter as well.
It was pretty close on Twitter.
In my mind, it was not as close. I would have picked Sadie and Mark to win that one.
I really don't know who I would have picked, because I'm sorry, but they were both...
Well, since Len is the head judge...
his vote breaks the tie, and he voted for Bethany and Derek, so they got the 3 extra points.
You know what? Sadie and Mark don't need those 3 stinking points anyway.
All right, so last but not least, Tommy and PETA versus Michael and Emma, and they were stuck with the rumba, which I love the rumba, but...
I do too. They were both horrific, and I cannot unsee it.
The judges...
What the hell was Michael doing?
were...
What was he doing?
Here's the thing. The judges were like, yeah, I felt really uncomfortable watching Michael and Emma. I felt extremely uncomfortable watching both.
Both.
So let's just put that out there.
Well, on Twitter, again, matched up with the judges. The judges made it a 4-0 blowout for Tommy and PETA.
You see, I would have
And same
voted...
thing on Twitter, pretty much.
I would have voted for Michael and Emma just because I felt like theirs was more interesting. So, like, okay, both were uncomfortable, so my deciding factor is that Michael and Emma had more interesting moves.
Yes. So, it all comes down to Michael and Emma versus Tommy and PETA.
In the bottom.
And probably because Tommy and PETA got those extra 3
Well,
points.
I think the extra points are for next week.
I thought it was for this week,
I thought
too.
they counted for next week.
Anyway, Michael and Emma are the ones going home.
I mean...
It was about time. I mean, either one...
I'm sure he's a great guy. He seems like a very nice person.
Absolutely.
But he just was not cut out for this show.
Not for dancing. But you know what? He made it pretty effing
Yeah,
far for
so that's
not
something to
being
be proud
able to
of.
move his hips. So congratulations. Let us know what you thought in the comments. Who is your favorite? Who is your least favorite? Or anything else you just want to interject. It's
Who
fine.
do you think's in trouble next week?
Uh-oh. Too soon to tell.
All right, so next week, I believe, is America's Choice. America has been voting on the song and style for each couple, so it should
get
be
on there and
good.
vote.
I think it might be over.
You're too late. Till next time.
Much love.
Edit.